So, Ghislaine Maxwell, now serving time for sex trafficking, Jeffrey Epstein's former lieutenant and girlfriend. Ms. Maxwell now seems to hold the future of our republic in her once well-manicured hands. She's in prison now, probably can't get as many manicures. Certainly her prison visitor list, prisoner activity list is soaring right now, as there are multiple efforts underway to try and have Republicans in Congress and the Trump administration, DOJ, to try and talk to her, hoping it will help them escape the wrathful ghost of Jeffrey Epstein. So Congress has subpoenaed Maxwell, and, well, they were planning to, and now they have subpoenaed her. And also the DOJ is going to talk to her. The Deputy Attorney General himself says that he's going to interview Ghislaine Maxwell. Now, how will all this help reclaim the democracy? Help the Democrats at midterms and beyond? Mainstream media is covering this 24/7, but it's too much about will she or won't she? Will people be named? Is there a list? Let's break it down a little bit and see what's really going on here behind all these different strands. But first, let me remind you, please subscribe. Make us the biggest and best channel we can possibly be, where we can explain to you these legal issues and how they relate to the politics of the time. So let's get down to these sort of artifices that Trump and the MAGA Republicans are using. First, the DOJ issue. I can't tell you how odd it is to have the Deputy Attorney General of the United States saying he's going to personally interview a defendant or witness. It's just unheard of. I mean, first of all, there would be legions of prosecutors who would be doing that work, not the Attorney General themselves. Good reasons for that. The Attorney General should be too busy running things, making decisions on policy, and the prosecutors who tried the case, who did the investigation, those should be the ones to do that interview because they know the case best. Not only that, you want career prosecutors to do that, so there's no concern over the way it looks like a politicized meeting, a politicized decision about whatever they do with her. Here's why you can have career prosecutors do it here. No career prosecutor would ever have confidence in what she's going to say now, after she's been convicted, and after repeatedly DOJ found that she was not credible. They had charged her with perjury over her testimony in civil lawsuits. They dropped the criminal cases about perjury after convictions. Why did they do that? Well, maybe they thought it was piling on. In a criminal case, if a defendant testifies, gets convicted, you don't charge perjury. This was different. There were civil depositions, so a little bit unclear why they didn't do it. The main point is a normal prosecutor would say, she has no credibility. We can't listen to what she has to say now. Now, the Trump DOJ does not care about her credibility, obviously, so long as it can help them some. But they probably do care about using those dropped charges as leverage, which brings us to the congressional testimony. The Congress has now subpoenaed her to come testify, which is ridiculous legally. She needs to take the Fifth Amendment because of those pending perjury charges. She can't testify because she could be prosecuted for false statements. So Congress can take care of that by granting her immunity. And with, of course, the people behind that grant of immunity being the MAGA Republicans, it leads to the same concerns over what is she going to be motivated to say. Is the deputy AG talking to her to make sure she says good things to please Trump? MAGA Republicans are going to grant her immunity for the same reason, because we all know it's all about pleasing Trump. More corroboration of that. Check out the rather client-serving statement by Maxwell's lawyer. Put up the link for you. Basically, he wants to thank President Trump. He says, I can confirm that we are in discussions with the government and that Ghislaine will always testify truthfully. We are grateful to President Trump for his commitment to uncovering the truth in this case. I mean, what is that about? She was convicted already of the sex trafficking. So what truth is her lawyer talking about? And the lawyer also has asked to let her review other people's grand jury testimony in case she didn't testify in the grand jury. And he has represented, and so has DOJ, they don't oppose that. Let me explain to you why that's never done. Because it completely corrupts her testimony. Once she reads other people's grand jury testimony, obviously she can tailor her own to match that, to make it look better. So you would never do that for a witness because you don't want them tainted by what other people have said already. In the event, it's not up to DOJ. They have to have a judge agree to unseal any grand jury testimony to show anybody. And so far, the judges considering the requests have felt that they just haven't come close to giving any actual reasons for why it should be unsealed. I can think of a number, but they apparently haven't bothered to really articulate it to the judge. It's more important for Pam Bondi, the AG, just to say, we've already asked the court to unseal this. It's not enough just to ask the court. You have to actually give them like legal reasons to do things. So what's in this for Maxwell? Well, she could get the Rule 35 reduction of sentence motion if they find she's been helpful after the sentence. And of course, Trump could commute her sentence or pardon her. It's all on the table for the right information. What would that right information be? You can imagine they want to clear Trump, maybe implicate some well-known liberals or something. What needs to be hammered home to our representatives to use and to mainstream media is that the loss of credibility for the Trump DOJ and the MAGA Republican Congress has to be paid forward to the midterms and later. It is not enough to make fun of Trump's apparent terror over the contents of the files, his worry over being included in a birthday card that he wrote to Epstein. He was willing to sue the Wall Street Journal over that. And of course, as I pointed out in an earlier Legal AF YouTube video, which we'll remind you to take a look at here, that birthday card is part of this nicely assembled list that Maxwell did in a bound leather book, which is the client list. These are people close enough to Epstein on his 50th birthday to want to send him birthday cards. Start there, folks. That's the list you're looking for. So Trump may be totally terrified about that. That's not the issue. We have to articulate the lack of credibility at DOJ, the lack of corroboration that they give for doing anything besides take our word for it. Show why it makes no sense to interview Maxwell now, why it makes no sense to dangle pardons, because it totally taints her testimony. It's not about whether she gets one or not. That's the kind of theme we need our representatives and mainstream media to be covering all the time, because that's the value that's going to carry forward to the midterms, that will carry forward to how these Republican MAGAs who stake everything on Trump, how that power is going to dissipate. That's what we got to do. So that's it for now. We'll keep an eye on this, and we'll talk to you soon.
I'm Michael Popak, and I got some big news for our audience. Most of you know me as the co-founder of Midas Touch's Legal AF and the Legal AF YouTube channel, or as a 35-year national trial lawyer. Now, building on what we started together on Legal AF, I've launched a new law firm, the Popak Firm, dedicated to obtaining justice through compassionate and zealous legal representation. At the Popak Firm, we are focused on obtaining justice for those who have been injured or damaged by a life-altering event, by securing the highest dollar recoveries. I've been tirelessly fighting for justice for the last 35 years, so my own law firm organically building on my Legal AF work just feels right. And I've handpicked a team of top-tier trial fighters and settlement experts throughout all 50 states known as big auto injury attorneys who have the know-how to beat heartless insurance companies, corporations, government entities, and their attorneys. Big Auto's attorneys working with my firm are rock stars in their respective states, and collectively responsible for billions of dollars in recoveries. So if you or a loved one have been on the wrong side of a catastrophic auto, motor vehicle, rideshare, or truck accident, suffered a personal injury, or been the victim of medical malpractice, employment harassment or discrimination, or suffered a violation of your civil and constitutional rights, then contact the Popak Firm today at 1-877-POPAK-AF or by visiting my website at www.thepopakfirm.com and fill out a free case evaluation form. And if we determine that you have a case and you sign with us, we don't get paid unless you do. The Popak Firm, fighting for your justice every step of the way.